I would like to first and foremost thank our Heavenly Parents, Mother, Father, Source of Creation, for giving me this opportunity to be here with you today. I would like to do a quick vibe check for the Sagittarius. This will just be a quick vibe check, tarot reading, fortune telling reading. No, just kidding. For the Sagittarius, okay? Remember, these messages are general, and please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You gotta be in the vibe. You gotta be here with me. It's not really tailored for anything in specific, but to be, really appreciated for what it is and why it is, okay? And that's kind of really what that is. It's like you have to build these relationships. You have to build these connections. You can't just say that, oh yeah, well, I watched and I participated and this is what I got from it, and then expect it to not be looked at as like, what's happening? I mean, how much did you gain from actually basically taking everything about what you saw just as being this, and when you can actually help in some type of way, not still do the same exact thing? Does that make sense? So when it's being projected onto energy of someone being like, what the fuck, then it's like, well, that is why you take, and if especially if you're in America, like, if you're taken from something to that in your pockets, because there should be no way in my heart and in my mind it's telling me that if I travel amongst in my country that things will be in ruins in some type of way. There's no, those type of things doesn't really amount to just saying that, well, I watched and I participated and this is what I gotten from it, when things are in ruins everywhere else. What are we truly contributing other than taking, knowing how to use different sounds and different forms of creativity to allow for our expression of what we have viewed and participated in to be utilized for thyself. So that's what that is. But let's just jump right into this vibe check for Sagittarius, okay? Let's jump right into this vibe check for Sagittarius. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Spirit Team. Vibe check for Sagittarius. Vibe check for Sagittarius. Those are my little babes. When I first saw those young ladies singing and rapping, I was so happy because although I don't know what's really going on out there. I personally don't. And then I was like, oh snaps! Please just protect the children. Just protect the children, because exactly, because they look at themselves as being that age, like they're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, what the hell? Y'all ain't getting no older in this motherfucker. But here, let the babies rap to you. That was cute. I liked it. I did. I ain't have a problem with the babies. Now, who wrote it and who was initiated? See, and then you get everybody in trouble. Yup, everybody be the Tariq. Everybody is the Tariq of the situation, because Tariq just be showing up and killing everybody. I think that's really cute. That's cute. I like that. So nobody is the Tariq. Everybody's the Tariq. No, let me stop. We got distant horizon. No, we a long way from that one, baby. Because it's. So Yeah, with Distant Horizon coming out, I feel like you just have to make sure you're up and up on the things that you are indulging in, especially on your journey on this pathway. I feel like things are delayed and they take time to manifest in the right manner, but you have to see that we are just as angelic as we are in this physical form. So appreciating the anchoring of what it is and why it is what is truly being recognized and what should be recognized for. So I feel like don't allow for something in the time of something to delay you from seeing when things really changed in your life, because I feel like it is really all about timing and why certain things change suddenly with your understanding and your realization. And when you align yourself with understanding life in that way, and you align yourself with seeing that, wow, well, this was going on in the world and these are the emotions and the frequencies that was coming out of others, then wow, that's really why things changed like that for me, no matter what my age was, no matter what my walk of life was, because it's a frequency, it's a groove, it's an understanding, it's emotion. So yeah, with unexpected income, I feel like they yeah, it's like to try to put someone else in bad health. It's like that's the energy that I really gather from, really seeing how things have been being manifested without me being inserted in it in this form and fashion, right? I'm just doing my Angel God Oracle readings. I'm as sober can be, but then one day I wake up and then I'm feeling drunk and then I'm just like, oh, so it's like you gotta just but anyways, it's like energies want to constantly benefit from things that shouldn't be looked upon as something that anyone outside of what it's supposed to be is doing. It shouldn't be like, well, you just got a unexpected bonus, or you just got an unexpected raise, and then now here's 4, 5, 10 other energies that's making it appear like something came from that based off of what you are doing as an individual. And then that's where it gets all twisted and discombobulated with the value of who the human race is, because it's never about the dollar, or it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be if it exactly, because if you motherfucker, hold on, because that fucking shit right there, I say, oh my god. It's like, you know what the fuck, you know, I'm just gonna let these people, man. Hey, we got courthouse message coming out. It's like, that's why motherfucker never even return to energy. It's because, babe, if the money was what the money was, the money would be what the money is. The money ain't shit compared to what we supposed to be doing. Yeah, it's nice to go on these trips. It's nice to have all this shit. It's nice to not worry if your vehicle gonna break down every 5 fucking seconds. But bitch, at the end of the day, that shit really don't amount to nothing. That is that shit right there that have your ass somewhere. So, I ain't even tripping. I'm just like, damn, but you ain't gonna benefit from me like that. You can't benefit from me like that. And I hope other people see that shit like that. Like, you can't just benefit from people working their light and really understanding and think you gonna be creating from that creation. It's like, man, y'all gotta see. And that's the only reason why this is I feel like this is my gift. This is a different type of approach. I left the bedroom, I was going into the basement, and then I was like, you know what? And then I somehow turned the TV on and I saw this new series. And I sat there and I was like, oh my goodness. And then it was just like, so that isn't nothing to what I'm really speaking about. But it's the same thing as we can see when it comes to who's in positions and why they are in those positions, especially when it comes to school. It's like, if we not getting to school, I hope they do y'all something so fucking sick, bro. Like, you don't even understand. If that school shit is not put on the table, I'm out of here, bro. Like, you all that for what? To do what? To have what? To show what? Mm-mm. If we ain't got that, I know we got the energy. They got the electricity. They got the oil. They got the this. They got the that. They got Mars. They got the moon. They got the this. They got the that. But we got the human race that's supposed to be here, that's being left behind by the idea of having more way too quick. This the horizon. With house and adjudication. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can't judge someone's path though, and the approaches they take to it. That's why it's like, whoa, 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 they ain't playing fair. Oh no, no, we don't want to take it there. It's like, yeah. So we just is, yeah, I know. So it's a vibe. It's a vibe. So it's like, don't judge what you don't know. Let them do what they do. Let them show who they are on every level as the human race. I just say as the human race because, baby, if I don't know why anybody ever thought I was here for anything other than to help. And I get it. At first it was my family, my immediate family. Right after losing my cousin, it was like, okay, I really want to talk to my family. And I was like, in my heart, like, it was like, oh, that was just too wrong for me to just, like, but then as I matured into awakening, activating, and having all sorts of people just ringing the doorbell. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't like that. But it's just like, it's, you see what's your value, and why you get to communicate with certain things at certain times for certain reasons. So it's just this is not Hotel Transylvania, but that movie, oh, it was so, when I first watched that movie, I was so amazed. It was like the whole scene of, like, the Dracula singing to his daughter. That whole scene was just too much for my whole soul. The very first time watching it. And so, how old was I? Like 16, 15, 16, 17? One of those ages. But that was like the first time I watched it, and I was just like, oh my goodness. And then I was obsessed with it. But I always have very innocent eyes. Innocent eyes meaning, like, although I can partake in things, my eyes, my mind is not as wicked. Yeah, there we go. As wicked as they are. Even when it comes to this, I can't see the things the way the wicked mind can see them. Oh, it's no, let me stop. It's not the wicked minds. Oh my goodness. Let me stop. These people are funny. What's the for this is courtship here. Courtship. So yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of things that's going on. There's a lot of different things at play, especially when it comes to things moving on in the right direction. I feel like at this time there's a lot of spiritual and physical, like notions being brought about, and that's why it's like it's so apparent, and it's so broad daylight, because it's like, okay, if you're rushing on this side, and then that means we have to rush on that side. If we're doing things in this manner to have this either equal give and take, or to give someone something so that they can move on with their journey in some type of way, then it's like, what are we doing to try to counteract what they're doing? And it just becomes too much. Yeah, it becomes too much. It does, but you know, it's enjoyment in a different fashion, in a different tone. But you have to see, everybody needs to benefit from it in the way that it should be benefited from. It shouldn't be like, you know, it's apparent that you just want to take and take and take it, because when more eyes is on something, then it shows what it is and why it is and how it is and when it is. So to keep something tucked away and used only for your own benefit is never going to be as prosperous in the long run as one or anyone would hope it to be. So, and that's why it's like, man, I don't hide what I be doing and the things I indulge in. I don't be playing around. I don't. And that's what I got from this energy. We ain't playing around. Y'all playing around with yourselves as the human race. And that's why it's like, even when we talk about China and things like that, and we say, well, China got all this stuff and China been doing all this stuff. Well, okay, and what the fuck have y'all been doing? Well, it's not selfish of them to not want to share nothing with you. I wouldn't want to share anything either. If I can't walk down the street and things are all messy and all confusing and everybody is what, I'm like, what is it? I'm like, that isn't fair to everything people are really working on. And even there, it's like, but this is how it's being looked at. People are homeless, people are this, and people are broken, but we are also very well intelligent in our technology and the things that we can do. So excuse me, America, yet again, for not really caring that, you all didn't invest in the right things, apparently, because we have homeless people, we have people that's sick, we have people that has nothing too. So then it just looks like you all want to continue to fight over things that nobody truly has as the human race. With message of concern coming out in reverse, because it's not a message of concern, it's the truth. And when you want to and are seeking after the truth will be revealed. It's about where you are on the spectrum or the frequency level to actually be able to appreciate it and take it in for what it is, because it shouldn't look like anyone else's and it shouldn't be tailored like anyone else's when we are one. So yeah, that's why I was just like, mm-mm. But I wouldn't share either. They got some. No, let me stop. I feel like it's more valuable to get your. I This is how I feel, and even for me, you have to understand, if you. I was driving I always only bought my vehicles secondhand, right? With a bunch of miles on them, child. A bunch of miles. But this Jeep, before my Jeep, I had a Trailblazer, right? And the Trailblazer was so nice. It had really low mileage. It had a sunroof, and it had, seats, because before that I was driving a Saturn. Like I said, all my vehicles was bought from someone, right? And then um on our way coming back from my cousin's celebration, my ex had hit a deer, right? And then so the whole front end like was all messed up or whatever, and we had to get a new radiator, whatever, whatever, whatever. So I had to drive around with no grill for however long, right, to next income tax season. So then I went and I bought a 2007 Jeep Liberty, right? From a couple, but this was like, what, 3 hours away from my house. And so, but the whole ride there, because I was in that energy of, okay, we want something that's nice, right? Because I was going to a used car lot, and it was a whole situation. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it is important because this is why we're so the whole drive, like I said, it's like a 3 hour drive to get to the city that I was going to buy my vehicle. So but the whole drive I kept like, we were having, and this is where when my archangel Hermes was really like like all in my face like that. So it was like whatever, but we it was like, but it was a conversation that had that, you really need to not go for what looks good, because what looks good isn't necessarily going to be better than what you already had or already have. Meaning, like, I'm able to use this vehicle and drive all the way 3 hours away. Meaning, there's nothing really wrong other than the grill on this vehicle. So don't sacrifice this vehicle just because something doesn't look good about the vehicle, so that you can have a vehicle that probably has way more problems with it in the long run. So I'm like, okay, okay. So I kept saying that to myself. I'm like, I'm not sacrificing this vehicle for just anything. I'll just wait. I'll just wait. And I'll just wait. So I probably got to that city at probably like maybe 9 a.m. I got there. And then, I went to this used car lot first. And like, I mean, it was a winter day. So it was kind of cold outside. And so, but when they are, well, when they was talking to me and stuff, and they were like really trying to get me to buy one of the vehicles, I'll go test drive them all. And like some of them, the dashes wasn't working. They had cracked windshields. It was just all sorts of just really fucked up shit with these vehicles. Some of them was hard to turn, like to like turn over when you were starting them. And these are the type of issues I just didn't have. I'm like, I don't have these issues with my vehicle. So then I had left that one, and then I went to another one, and then these vehicles, they were all just like just nasty. Like the whole, it was I didn't it was I just it was yeah it was just, that one was just no. And then I remember, because this is how I was finding them, because I don't have Facebook or anything. So I was on Craigslist, right? And it popped up on Craigslist. And then I remembered, like, oh, I did message this person that probably from where I was. They were like, maybe like, I don't know, they wasn't too far from where I was. So then I went to go pick up the Jeep from them. But when I first got in the Jeep, it was so nice. It was so nice, and nothing appeared to be wrong with the Jeep, right? So here I am, just being a woman, and we not really communicating about it. It's just, I have the cash, I want the vehicle, I test drove it enough to see that it is better. And that was the whole conversation. As long as Wait, oh my goodness, that is horrible. Wait, no. So that was the whole conversation. As long as the vehicle is better, we will sacrifice this vehicle and have a better vehicle. And it was. And then, so I went home or whatever. I was so happy. I had my Jeep, and that was the main vehicle I really wanted. I really wanted the Jeep. Like my entire life, that a Jeep Cherokee was my like whole little thing. But anyways, so to have the Jeep was really like, oh my goodness. But then, like, what, a couple of months passed or whatever, and the Jeep needed brakes. Like one day, like they were squeaking or something, and then I took them into the auto place, and they're like, yeah, these brakes on here is like not even safe to drive. Like I don't even know what is going on. So I was like, oh no. So that turned into a whole situation, right? So to come from and then clearly it had like 100, and man, there was so many miles on that damn Jeep, it was crazy. But um so, and then when it finally went out, what, I had it for probably like 2 years, maybe three, maybe 2 years, and then, so then, it went out or whatever, and then I had to fucking drive the Ranger. And this, mind you, like I said, I don't do, the whole yeah, the whole gambling. Oh, that I just. But we don't do the whole like, you know, buy here, pay here, you know, or what I'm doing now. We don't do the whole leasing of vehicles. That's just something that, you know, I never wanted for myself, for real, for real. So it's like so anyway, so I started driving this Ranger, and the Ranger is still alive. No, I'm just kidding. But I started driving this Rangers, and it was like, it didn't have a radio, it didn't have a bag, the children was crammed in there, blah blah blah. And I'm just saying, to go back to what it is when it comes to getting out of debt, and why it's so important to not be in debt in any way, and stop going for the inventions or the investments that appears to be something that is more valuable. Because in that moment, whether I was able to save up or not, I understood what it was like to sacrifice. I understood what it was like to be in this position where, you know, I'm not able to truly gain very much, or if I lose this, I'm really going to be messed up in the long run. So it's like, that's kind of where it's like, when it comes to the things that, we go without a lot of things, and we are able to really have great things. So this is why we are able to have great things, because we don't mind what we're driving, we don't mind what we have, we don't mind, because in due time it will all happen. And then if we can get people like, who's really focused on this internet stuff and the things of the world, to just buy into whatever we're talking about, then it just be what it is, and that's why it is what it is. So that's why we just like, But that was a cute little story. I forgot, that's significant though. That's funny as hell. With high honor, yeah. See that? Oh, that's what I was saying. Yeah, with that whole like, things are happening on the spiritual and physical, and things are being really negotiated in a correct manner, I suppose. I mean, yeah, it's not in a like a real like, oh, it just it yeah, it does have the potential for things to really suddenly change. It has potential for things to really be suddenly sad. It has potential for things to really be suddenly shaken up, when it comes to people not truly being in their own strength, and really getting the correct guidance that is going to be beneficial for not only themselves, but who surrounds them. So I kind of get that as the sadness for what it is, but, or the confusion. But at the end of the day, it's not being done in a bad way. I don't feel like, it's the movement that's required to get to the next phase. And that's how I see it. That's how I've been seeing it. There should be more, and everybody should be able to benefit from there being more. It shouldn't be a Harry Potter and then we have all this sadness and confusion and dirtiness amongst the whole collective. It shouldn't be that. Well, no, let me stop. All right, what's this distant horizon with this? Distant horizon with house. But yeah. Distant horizon and house. Sunflowers are, oh yeah, no, I think sunflowers are Leo's Leo's oh yeah, sunflowers are significant then. Zodiac flower. Mm-hmm. That's actually really interesting. No, 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 no. Anyways, distant horizons with house. Oh, we have two. We have just we have justice and the ace of pentacles, okay? And I feel like, yeah, and that's where I be always saying, like, I know it's hard to let go of things and positions and marriages and all sorts of things, but at the end of the day, I feel like continue to just wait for the opportunities to present themselves to you, and don't be in any energy of anxiety or fear about what isn't happening and why it isn't happening when it comes to the predictions, or when it comes to the manifestations that you are a part of, or that has been just a part of the collective for longer than you probably walk this earth. So I feel like just allow for yourself to be in this energy of intelligence and understanding the speedy intelligence that is needed when it's needed, okay? And why you have to have up certain walls, and you know, be in this energy of perfect contentment at all times for yourself as being an individual, so that you understand the different approaches you need to take to stuff, or to get to certain things, or to communicate even things to yourself, you know, without having to truly rely on, you know, the minds of others per se, even though you know. And that's where it'd be like, man, what is, man, anywho, pathway adjudication with the ace of cups and the king of pentacles, right? And because it like I said, there's truth to that Encanto movie, right? But have you been using it in the correct manner? What are we doing? How are we doing it? Why are we doing it? What are you benefiting from that? And what are you taking from others to even benefit from it? What are we doing? How are we doing? Why are we doing it? So, and that's where this whole corruption, sadness, delays, not moving forward, don't have no control. I gotta do what they tell me to do. Oh no. Oh my goodness, you're gonna get in so much trouble. And it's just like, it's not even that for real, but it is what it is. But I feel like someone is more abundant than it might have been led on to believe for a long time. And it's just that realizing of the intelligence for what it is. It's like we can't always put business over normal interactions with our own species. Okay? And I feel like, yeah. I feel like continue to mature into who you are meant to be. I don't feel like it's just like the consciousness and awareness needs to continue to mature into who we are meant to be. Which, if they are us and we are them, and we are them and they are us, then that makes sense to why we are at certain points of time and understanding things in that manner, just like that. This is unexpected income with courtship. Yeah, with the moon. I feel like somebody feels like a hidden enemy when it comes to that, or some type of instability when it comes to that unexpected income coming in. or like there's some type of deception to that when it wasn't. And it's definitely not no inconsistency. It's a motherfucker that's really, if they didn't have certain things with them, they would just be doing whatever whenever, based off of being the privileged lady, or the, the, you get yeah. So that's that part. Like, nobody give, and it's not that it's not supposed to be, because the men are supposed to be loved on in a certain manner. But when you are the man, no matter what your age is, you have that understanding. So you don't really do certain things that women and the ones that have the wombs will approach things in that way, regardless of you being more feminine or not. Like, the men are the men. So you have to see that if you didn't have certain things with you in certain ways, certain things wouldn't be so. But by being brought into a situation and into a completely different avenue, it did open up the channels for things to really start to work on the behalf of those that have really gotten the short end of the stick for longer than even expected, is what I heard. Longer than even expected. So, yeah. What's this moon here? What's the Page of Cups? Oh, not the Page of Cups. Uh, yeah. It's this moon with the Page of Cups. It's like, yeah. I feel like all things is connected, and it's just reflecting back on the things and the journey of why we are here and how we have gotten here. I feel like continue to see all aspects of life for what it is, on the business front, the emotional front, the love front, as what it's supposed to be. I feel like someone feels like they have been deceived in a tremendous way, and it's hurt them real bad, like real bad. So, and I don't know what to say about that. You know, you try to be as honest as you can be with people. You should be. I mean, sometimes you don't say what you should say, and you might elaborate it a little bit, but it still is what it is when it's underneath everything, or when the underneath tone is actually pulled upwards about what it is. And I feel like that's not someone's case here, though. Like, someone is like, it's the complete opposite. We had all the conversation, we had all of the tools, we had everything, and now we're still like underneath all that. It's like way worse. It's way worse than what you was even presenting to everybody. That was already bad, but it wasn't way worse. So it gets deep, man. What's this page, or this message, and this message of concern in reverse? With the Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Two of Swords, Knight of Cups, and Page of Wands. Yeah, it's like just working really hard to make sure that the seeds that you have planted is really what they are. I don't want to boast over something that I don't know to be real within anyone else's reality, even if it is real within my reality. You don't want to come off like you're allowing for a trickery to be had to you, when you know that you don't even look at things in that way. So I'm not about to act like, oh, this love, this that for myself, but maybe it is for someone else. But it's like, I can't look at it like that when I'm driving and going off of hope and faith the whole time, and feeling like, wow, how this is weird, but this is cool. I don't know what's happening, but we gonna go with the flow of it. And how are we here to assist each other? No, that is how it was. It's like, and then when I go and I look of people, I'm like, oh, I would not. That's not my vibe. It's not my vibe. It's not my vibe. Not my vibe. But so I can see why it's this different, negotiations going on both fronts of it all, because it's like $1 is all I have to work with. So what can we do with $1? And that's what we can do with it, as you can see. Now, if you need 30 years to see that, then, well, that's on you. But someone's consciousness and awareness opens up regardless of what their environment is and how they have to be presented in their environment. And there's more loss and trickery that goes on to those that tries to manipulate that situation, regardless of how you try to see it, put it, twist it, turn it. And that's the truth. What's this courthouse with high honor? We have the Four of Cups, the King of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. So yeah, it's just like leading in the best way that you possibly can, having that momentum for the right energies, for the right reasons, making sure that you are grounded enough to see what it is that you are truly fighting for and why you are truly fighting for it. Why are you trying to state your case to who it is and why it is when it comes to the things that you have been indulging in. It's very important to be honest and make sure you are not juggling too many people, places, and things so you can see where you need to be positioned. And that goes back to the whole idea of the human race and the things that we are supposed to birth out of this womb of ours, when you know we know, and this is just my schooling, this is just my schooling, but we know that you need that attention to everything, and you also need to birth life, and you also need to have these things. So why has it been made to seem like the more the merrier? I got 12 children, I have 6 children, I have 5 children, when you know how much more beneficial they will be if they actually had their awareness on things outside of trying to love each and every individual as the child, like, because it's a difference when you have nieces and nephews or a foster parent like that's, but as the child, and this just, it's the schooling. That's why I'm like, I don't try to disrespect anything, especially when I don't fully understand that side. I've been, sheltered my entire like life to be able to understand this side to more of a degree than that side, because I never got that. So that's why it's like, it's not about the more the merrier. Just like even with mating, it's always been about, oh, the one. We need to find the one. We need to have the one. It's like, what the fuck? Well, exactly, and then have the one, have your life, have your family, have your riches, and also be utilized for what the fuck you supposed to be utilized for, not for whatever, just to have it and have more the merrier of things than spiritual awareness, than actually being a helping hand to someone else when they're in need. So, and I'm not saying you can't, yeah, that's why but that does go back to that, where it's like, we have been even, kind of led wrong in that way, because I feel like that's a distraction, because we're supposed to really be able to benefit from the the shapes and the forms of life that is outside of us, while benefiting from what's internal to us. So being overly stimulated in a lot of ways can just bring heartbreak and doubt to the whole notion of what is going on. So, and that's just on the intelligent part where people, you know, that have been in these positions for quite some time ain't seen nothing wrong with it yet. You ain't never gonna see nothing wrong with it. So, and that's just what it is. But yeah. And that's just like the judgment call that one needs to make for themselves. But, all right, Sagittarius, that's really all I have for you, okay? I don't know how many more. I was not trying to be here all day, but I want to get these done today so I can do what I need to do and be done with this, okay? But it was a cute little twist to what the fuck is going on so Eric could catch up. I don't know about anybody else. Y'all probably already knew this was all going on, but I needed to catch up. I like to see some shit. I don't want you to tell me nothing. And I promise you what's going on that internet is only half of what you see, so I don't really pay too much attention. But I try to take it in. I'd be like, oh, well, if it is true, I have to give truth to it and I have to give doubt to it because that's what makes us who we are. It can't just be full blown, oh, I believe that shit. I gotta give it time to fester in there to make sure. And sometimes like I said, I only had to watch that video of 1 second, 2 seconds, and I'm like, okay, the vibe is light. The vibe isn't something that I need to pay attention to know that it should be good. But it's also, till next time, Sagittarius.